Picture two brothers who grew up under the same roof, had the same parents, went to the same schools, and were handed the same opportunities. They even picked similar careers and earned almost the same salaries for most of their working lives. Yet when they hit 65, one brother retired with $1.4 million invested, a house that was fully paid off, and total financial freedom. He spends winters in Arizona, helps his grandkids pay for college, and does not even glance at restaurant prices. The other brother retired with only $180,000 in savings, still had 12 years left on his mortgage, and lived with constant money stress. He works part-time at a hardware store because Social Security alone does not cover his bills. He lies awake wondering whether he can afford both his prescriptions and his property taxes. Same genes, same upbringing, same income potential, completely different endings. The split did not happen in their 20s, when they were both too young and too broke to make major progress. It did not happen in their 30s, when they were raising families and building careers in roughly the same way. And it did not happen in their 50s, when the outcome was already mostly locked in. The real split happened in their 40s. During that decade, one brother made a string of choices that seemed tiny at the time. The other brother made different choices that also felt small. Neither of them understood that they were shaping the rest of their lives. Your 40s are the single most important financial decade you will ever live through. Not because the decisions are harder than other decades, but because the consequences are multiplied in ways that are easy to miss until it is too late. Today, I want to show you exactly why your 40s matter so much, which choices separate a comfortable retirement from a stressed one, and what you can do right now, no matter your age, to make sure you land on the right side of that divide. The reason your 40s are so powerful comes down to three financial forces that meet at the same time, and that combination does not really happen at any other stage of life. The first force is peak earning power. For most professionals, income tops out somewhere between 42 and 55. The raises that once felt big in your 30s may slow down or stop, but the actual dollar amount you are earning is usually the highest it has ever been and may never be that high again. That means your 40s are often the years when you have the most money available to build wealth. A 45-year-old making $120,000 can often save more in absolute dollars than at any earlier point in their career. The second force is remaining compounding time. At 40, you may still have 20 to 25 years before retirement, which is enough time for money to roughly quadruple at historical market returns. A dollar invested at 40 can become about $4 by 65. At 50, you have maybe 15 years left, so that same dollar grows to around $2.50. At 55, with only 10 years left, it becomes about $2. The compounding multiplier drops fast with every year that passes. Your 40s are the last decade where compounding still has a lot of muscle left. Money invested at 42 works much harder than money invested at 52. The third force is expense stabilization. By the time you are in your 40s, many of your biggest costs have peaked or started leveling off. Kids get older and more independent and eventually move out. The house you once stretched to afford now feels comfortable. The wardrobe for work is already established. The furniture is already bought. That creates room in the budget that did not exist in your 30s, when every major expense category was climbing at the same time. The big question is whether that extra room goes to savings or gets swallowed by lifestyle creep. These three forces together create a decade of unusual financial leverage. You have higher income than ever, enough time left for compounding to matter, and the possibility of margin from more stable expenses. The person who captures that alignment builds serious wealth. The person who misses it runs into math that is very hard to undo later. Look at the numbers. Imagine someone turning 40 with $100,000 already in retirement savings. They earn $110,000 a year and could reasonably save 15% of income, or $16,500 per year. If they actually save that 15% from 40 to 65 and invest it in diversified index funds earning 8% annually, they can end up with about $1.35 million by retirement. Add Social Security, and they are looking at a very comfortable retirement with plenty of breathing room. But if that same person saves only 5% through their 40s and does not ramp up to 15% until age 50, when retirement suddenly feels more urgent, they end up with roughly $780,000 instead. That is $570,000 less, even though the difference was only 10 years of lower contributions. Contributions in your 40s matter so much because they have 25 years to grow. Contributions in your 50s only have 15 years. You cannot make up that lost time just by saving harder later. The math of time cannot be replaced by throwing more money at it after the fact. Now imagine a third version. This person also has $100,000 at 40, but instead of saving steadily in their 40s, they reduce retirement contributions so they can upgrade their life. The house gets bigger, the cars get nicer, the vacations get pricier. Their retirement savings fall to about 2% of income during the decade. Then at 50, reality finally hits and they panic, pushing savings up to 20% of income through the rest of their working years. Even with that aggressive late correction, they still only end up with about $590,000 by 65. Their comfortable 40s cost them about $760,000 in retirement wealth compared with the steady saver. The decade of choices created a gap that a decade of correction could not close. The biggest decisions in this critical decade usually revolve around the same few areas. Housing is one of the most powerful. In your 40s, there is often a strong urge to upgrade the house. The kids need more space. You feel like you have earned something better. The mortgage payment seems manageable because your income is decent. But that decision may be the single most consequential financial move of your life. A family that moves from a $350,000 house to a $600,000 house can easily add $1,500 to $2,000 a month in housing costs. That is $18,000 to $24,000 a year that can no longer be invested. Over the 25 years from 40 to 65, that difference can compound into somewhere between $900,000 and $1.3 million in retirement wealth. In other words, the house upgrade can quietly cost $1 million or more in future money. I am not saying nobody should ever buy a larger home. I am saying most people do not understand the real price tag. They think they are paying an extra $1,800 a month. In reality, they may be sacrificing over $1 million in retirement value. The family that stays in a modest home and invests the difference buys themselves options the other family never has. They can retire earlier, work part-time in their 60s, help their children buy homes, and handle emergencies without the whole plan collapsing. Vehicles are another huge decision. In your 40s, the practical sedan often gets replaced by a luxury car. The reliable SUV gets traded in for something more impressive. A family that runs two $45,000 vehicles instead of two $28,000 vehicles may carry about $34,000 more in auto debt, pay more in insurance, and spend more on repairs. Over time, that vehicle premium can cost between $200,000 and $400,000 in retirement wealth, depending on how often the cars are replaced. That is money that never got the chance to compound. Children's lifestyle and education can also eat through retirement plans. Your 40s are often the most expensive parenting years. Teenagers need cars, insurance, activities, and eventually college. Some parents take Parent Plus loans of over $100,000 to pay for prestigious schools. Others cash out retirement accounts for tuition. Some simply stop contributing to retirement for years while college bills pile up. Every one of those moves mortgages the parents' future to fund the child's education. The kids graduate with their whole careers ahead of them, while the parents enter their 50s with depleted savings and barely any time left to recover. The families who handle this well often make uncomfortable choices. They push for state schools or scholarship options. They expect their kids to contribute through work or loans. They keep retirement contributions going even when college feels urgent. Career risk tolerance is another major issue. Your 40s may be your last strong chance to accelerate income. This is when companies start recruiting you for more senior roles. Startups may offer equity. Your skills may finally command a premium. Yet many people become more risk-averse in their 40s right when they should be making smart moves. They have seniority and comfort where they are. Starting over feels threatening. But by 50, the window for income growth starts narrowing. The person who takes a calculated career risk at 43 still has time to recover if it does not work out. The person who waits until 53 does not have the same safety margin. The difference between staying comfortable and going after growth can easily be $30,000 or $40,000 a year. Over a decade, that is $300,000 to $400,000 in extra income. Lifestyle inflation is probably the most socially reinforced trap of all. In your 40s, there is strong pressure to show that you have made it. Coworkers take expensive vacations. Neighbors renovate kitchens. Friends buy boats or second homes. Some families resist that pressure and keep living close to the same lifestyle they had in their late 30s. Others expand every part of their life to match the people around them, absorbing every raise into visible consumption. The retirement difference between those two choices is often more than $1 million. Take David and Christine as an example. They married in their late 20s. By 40, they had $185,000 in retirement accounts, a modest house worth $320,000 with $180,000 left on the mortgage, and 2 children aged 12 and 9. Their combined income was $165,000. They had some major decisions ahead. David pushed to upgrade the house. A similar home in a nicer neighborhood would cost $575,000. Christine was hesitant, but she eventually agreed. Their housing costs rose by $1,650 a month, so they cut retirement contributions from 15% to 6%. They told themselves it was temporary. A couple of years later, David's car started having issues. Instead of fixing it, they decided he deserved something nicer. The new SUV added another $680 a month. Christine got a new vehicle a year later. During the kids' high school years, there were private sports programs, SAT tutoring, and college visits. When their first child chose an expensive out-of-state university, David and Christine took a Parent Plus loan instead of pushing for a more affordable option. Through all of it, every individual choice felt reasonable. By 50, their retirement accounts had grown to $240,000, which was only $55,000 more than they had at 40. 10 years of contributions and market gains barely moved the needle. When the kids finally became independent, they tried to catch up by maxing out retirement contributions. By 65, they had about $685,000. That sounded impressive until they looked at the retirement projections and realized the money would likely run out by age 82. They would probably need to sell the house, slash expenses dramatically, or keep working well into their 70s. Now compare that with Robert and Jennifer. They looked almost identical to David and Christine at age 40. Their combined income was $155,000. They had $165,000 in retirement savings and 2 children aged 11 and 8. Robert suggested moving to a larger home. Jennifer pushed back hard because she had learned what housing choices do to retirement math. They stayed where they were. It felt like a sacrifice at first, but the $1,650 they saved each month went straight into retirement accounts. When Robert's car wore out, they bought a 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle instead of a new one. When college approached, they had honest conversations with their children about cost. Both kids attended state schools with merit scholarships. Their lifestyle looked modest compared with many of their friends, and throughout their 40s, it felt like they were swimming against the social current. But by 50, their retirement accounts had grown to $580,000. The aggressive saving plus market returns had more than tripled their balance in 10 years. By 65, they had $1.65 million. Their house was paid off. They could retire fully, travel, and never worry about money again. The difference between these families had nothing to do with income or investing skill. It was their 40s decisions. What is striking is that both families probably felt equally satisfied during the decade. Research shows that lifestyle inflation usually gives only a temporary boost in happiness. Within 18 to 24 months, people adapt to the new normal. David and Christine did not actually enjoy their 40s more than Robert and Jennifer. They just spent more. The extra spending did not create lasting satisfaction, but it did permanently reduce the freedom they had later. If you are in your 20s or 30s, this is your warning in advance. You now know that your 40s will bring strong pressure to expand your life right when your income peaks. Build the habits now that protect you later. Set up automatic retirement contributions and do not reduce them. Decide what enough means before your income makes more feel normal. If you are entering your 40s, you are standing at the most important financial turning point of your life. What you do over the next 10 years will largely decide whether you retire comfortably or with stress. Review every big expense. Is your housing the right size? Are your vehicles transportation, or are they status symbols? Are you funding retirement before you fund lifestyle upgrades? Every yes to lifestyle expansion is a no to retirement security. If you are in your late 40s and recognize yourself in the wrong story, there is still time to change course. Every percentage point you increase your savings rate now helps. Consider options your more lifestyle-inflated peers will not consider. Downsize the house now instead of later. Sell the expensive vehicles. Take the better-paying job even if it requires change. If you are already past your 40s and behind on savings, focus on what is still in your control. Delay Social Security if you can to increase the benefit. Work longer if necessary. Use home equity by downsizing. There are still moves left. A lot of the struggle comes from a psychological trap. In your 40s, it feels like you have earned the right to enjoy the fruits of your labor. After 20 years of working, the urge to finally live big makes perfect sense. But that is exactly where the trap is hidden. The gratification from lifestyle inflation is temporary pleasure followed by permanent constraint. The bigger house feels exciting for a year or two, then it just becomes normal while retirement savings stay lower forever. The luxury car is thrilling for a while, then it becomes just another car while your options get narrower. Real gratification does not come from spending your peak earning years. It comes from converting those years into freedom. The person who resists lifestyle creep in their 40s gets a daily reward in retirement. The person who inflates their lifestyle gets daily stress in retirement. The discomfort of being frugal in your 40s lasts about 10 years. The reward lasts 30 years or more. The pleasure of indulging in your 40s lasts maybe 2 or 3 years. The consequence lasts decades. Picture yourself at 70. You are sitting on a porch or in a quiet living room on a peaceful morning. In one version of your future, you are deciding which grandchild to visit this month and planning a trip somewhere you have always wanted to go. You are relaxed because surprise expenses do not threaten you. In the other version, you are wondering whether Social Security will cover your medications. You are worried about car repairs. You feel anxious because your future has too few options. Both versions were created decades earlier by the decisions you made in your 40s. That outcome is not really about luck or income. It is about how you handled housing, vehicles, education, career, and lifestyle while your choices still had leverage. Your 40s will end. The decade will pass whether you make intentional choices or default choices. The real question is which version of your 70-year-old self you are building right now. Your 40s will decide everything. That is not a burden. It is an opportunity. What you do with it is up to you. It is up to you.